How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you the second drop for my Takeaway remix. Just to note as well, I'm also going to show you how to do the vocals. A lot of people have actually been asking how to get vocals right in the track. So yeah, I'm going to be showing that in this video as well. So let's crack on, and here's a preview of what we're going over. Great, so yeah, in the last video I went over the sort of main elements of the track, but in the second part of the drop there is a new bass, that sort of warpy bass you can hear. So let's get straight into it. So if we have a look at the MIDI, when you're making a warp bass, you've got to keep it on the grid. So the kick would be in this pattern on every beat. So you've got to keep it like that. You can obviously then maybe do some half notes, but I'd go nothing more than a half note. So yeah, as you can see, this pattern here is very simple. Just on the same beat as the kick. I mean, yeah, the MIDI itself is obviously in D sharp minor, and it's essentially the same sort of notes as intro build. Yeah, as you can see, these notes are obviously slightly more sort of chopped up, have more of a melody to it. So yeah, the sound itself is made in Serum, and it's for my Speed Gauge Volume 2 pack. Great, so I'm going to show you now how to make that bass from scratch. Obviously, if you can't be asked to make it yourself, the link for the pack is in the description. It's got over 60 different presets for making Speed Gauge like Notion, Interplanetary Criminal, Soul Mass Transit System, Silver Bumper, and all the people who've been smashing it in the last year. Definitely check that out. Cool, so yeah, let's show you how to make it from scratch. Great, so click Menu, initiate the preset. I'm going to go to Oscillator A, Analog, Basic Shape. We're going to look for the square. It's going to sound like this. Pitch it down by 2. Turn the filter on. Make sure A's on. Drag that down. Let's go 24. Maybe bring up some res about here. And we're going to use this LFO1 to shape the filter, create that warp sound. So click Envelope for 1. Make sure that's clicked. If you're on off, it's not going to sound right. It's not going to be triggered every time a MIDI note plays. And let's drag that to about here. And let's curve it. And let's get this LFO, drag it onto the cutoff, bring this cutoff down. As you can hear, that's too fast. And we could bring it back. It's all about sculpting it at this point. Let's just bring up the drive, it's a little bit quiet, put the fat up. We're already halfway there. You can obviously make it quicker if you want, or slow. Put it as a bar and we can bring it back. I mean, already that sounded good. An alternative would be to sort of curve it like this. Maybe put it to half. Or you can even have a sort of delay. So it's really starting sort of way off the offbeat, or off the main beat, sorry. Or even just simple like this. What we also could do is go to this LFO, add some res. Obviously, if you put it in half mode, it gives you more sort of flexibility. You put it here. Cool. What you also could do is add a sub. I'd probably go for a sine or this sort of distorted sine. Turn that filter on. Play around if you want sine with more harmonies. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. What we also have done is in the intro of this, so this sort of build up, we've added this auto filter, taken out the high end. Let's bring that res down. Bit mono. You could obviously come here if you want to make it wider, turn on this dimension. Add a bit of reverb. Sounds better without a dimension. That's pretty much it. Obviously, the last sort of thing you could do is add some distortion. You can even use this LFO to sort of control that. Depends how sort of creative you want to get with it, you know. So yeah, in the last video, in case you haven't seen it, we've gone over sort of all the other stuff. So the drums are basically just these top loops from my drums pack. Then we've got like the snare build, kick, and this lead, which we've already sort of gone over, you know, so I'm not going to go over it again. But yeah, they're just sort of synths and stuff from that same pack. But yeah, watch the last video if you're more interested in that. But now I'm going to get on to what you've been asking for, which is the vocal. So, the vocal you can hear here is obviously from Take Me Away by DJ SKT. To get that, go to Google, like Beatport or any of these other things. Once you've got the track, ALAI, this audio converter. So it's gonna look like this, and you select vocals, and then you drag your track. So for example, this is the Take Me Away. So then you just simply drag it in here like that, and then it's gonna split it up. Then you download it, and you drag it into your project. Great, so once you've got your acapella, then you just drag it in like this. Then I'm going to come here. It's going to say, look, the BPM is 125.31, which obviously isn't right. So then you've got to go to Google. You need to find the BPM. So according to this, it's 124. Click the warp and 124. And already that's there. So what you can do if you couldn't find it, so I've just found that really easily because it just lands on that second beat. You can turn on this metronome. So say I don't know where it's going to land. But it's not there. What you can also do, if you're struggling to still find the placement for it, is pull up the original. So you grab it here, look. So you can hear that's matching the metronome. So then we can just drag our vocal to match that. So we listen, see where it comes in. It comes in about here. Then you're going to zoom in. Then you can literally match this knobble here with this. And you can play it at the same time. And if they're off, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like an echo. So you've got to match it up. So obviously that's with like a vocal that you've basically stolen from a track and you're doing a remix of. Great, so that's obviously if you're doing a remix, but if you wanted to do an original vocal from say Splice, first you're gonna wanna find the key. So we're in the key of D sharp minor, but then go to Splice, sounds, instruments, vocals, D sharp minor. I was gonna pick any sort of vocal, so. And let's just download that quick and let's drag it in. So it doesn't sound right because if you come down here, audio, the BPM set to 109.33, but we can see here in the description it's 123. So if we click that 123, and that should put it on the beat. Yeah, you can also just check the BPM as well on Splice. It puts them all here, so 123, 150, etc. I hope you enjoyed that video, especially that last bit. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you guys. I will see you next week.